Yeah, I wanna say, 20 years this month, I started online full time, 10, 12 hours a day, but almost every day of the week, almost every day of every year. And there's one of the big things that I found that as you learn, you start to learn what you didn't know, as Big Mike would say. But what I found out is reliability is a big deal. You get into a company or many companies and it's not very reliable. And that hurts a lot because you put your heart and soul into a company and you're hoping that they feel the same way about everyone as you feel about being reliable for them. Like you do your best. I do my best. I put 100% in. So, but a lot of times, most of the time, the company or the CEO wasn't very reliable. And that was a killer. And I'm talking to everybody that's watching this today, tomorrow, whatever. If you can find a company that the CEO is reliable, let me explain what I mean by reliable. If there's bad times, they're there. They're consistent. Their accountability. When it's bad, they take the bad. They grab the bad with the good. They own it. It's a big deal. Dependency in difficult times. What I mean is when it's bad, listen, everybody can be a great CEO, a great leader, long as they're walking down the street of gold and there's daisies and flowers all around on a sunny day. I want to be behind that person that when the storm hits and difficult times come, that through the clouds and the fire and the nastiness, I see a silhouette of the man that I saw walking into that fire. And there he is. And not only did he walk into it, he walked in it for us. If you can find what I'm telling you, jump on it. Because that's the only time that you have a chance of surviving, especially if you don't have the skills. Okay. And then we go by what the track record. This is why when I said this the other day and Bob heard it, he never disappointed me. Aswithbar never ever disappointed me. And once I realized that he was reliable and he had my life and all of our lives was the biggest push for his life. He wanted us to do well. He wanted to find people. He wasn't looking for maybe Marty or Bob or Francine or Chris, but he was looking for who or like that. It just happens to be that's my name. That's our name. We were those people he was looking for. How do I know? People say, well, we haven't heard from him. We don't see him. Part of the reason he's not ready to. The other part is he trusts everybody on this screen. We have been reliable for him too. It's a two-way street. I realized that after when we were talking, that knowing that what's being said and what's being pushed ahead is enough that As says, I don't have to come out and say things that he's not ready to say. I don't need to. You know why? Because Engineer Mike is doing it. Because Vincent's doing it. Because Oliver's doing it. Because AI Francine, Marcianne, Bob Jacucci, Chris Johnson, many other people. I don't want to get in all the names. It'd take me 3 days. But you understand what I'm saying. And it took me a while to get this concept. Me and myself and Chris, yes, we do talk to us a few times, more than most. And that privilege needs to be passed on, that we tell the truth, we tell what we know, and that's what we do. But the point is, when it becomes a two-way street with trust, reliability, accountability, and the trust and the faith, it's unstoppable. When Marcianne said, look, we haven't really got on the move yet. And look at us. It's a Saturday afternoon at noon. We're not out hanging out with buddies and friends. We're hanging out with family. We're hanging out with people that are part of something because why? Because he was reliable to us and we're reliable to him. And we trust each other. It's a two-way street. It means a lot. It's what's driving this company. Listen, I built, myself, Mike, and Dan built this company on hope and a prayer. There wasn't a products. There was nothing there that you could grab and hold. It was purely from the heart. And the only way you can sell the heart transfer to somebody else, they have to have a receiving heart to understand it. That's why when you try to tell people that don't get it, they don't get it like completely. They're just like, and because they don't get it, they want to tell you, Bob, Marty, all of it, you guys are crazy. You don't know what you're doing. But it's so clear to us. That's the frustration of why isn't it clear to them? But that's okay, they're coming. So I let that go a long time ago. But I want to tell you, people that get anxiety when bad things happen. We hear rumors and stuff, what happened in June and the site went down and anxiety builds up and people start talking, murmuring to each other. Part of that is they don't believe in reliability, because if they did, they wouldn't feel that way. And a lot of it is the reliability in themselves to believe in what they've seen. Because people say, if I don't see it, I can't believe it. I don't think that's always true. We saw where Ash walked. We saw what he did. He's given us proof. When it was down and out, he made sure we had OCONNECT for a year. When things were really bad, we took none of the blunt. When he was knocked down, kicked in the gut, it physically and monetarily, it did nothing to me. Oh, we had to wait longer. Big deal. You go look at these big companies like Apple and all of them. They all got knocked down in the beginning. I mean, knocked down to the ground. Why? Because when you take a company like this that's going to make a massive impact in humanity, it's going to have to go through some really hard stuff. The ground that OnPassive is tilling is a lot of rocks. There's a lot of really bad earth that they have to move and get it ready for what's about to happen. When we go to the second chapter and we launch to the world, that field needs to be fertile. It needs to be ready to go because they're coming. People are coming. People need this. And like I say, I'm talking to people watching this. What if there was a company that cared more about you than you do? I think that's pretty powerful. And you could say, well, prove it. Come in, you'll find out. Why would I be here after 6 years? Even if I was an idiot. It's because I watched what happened. He walked the walk. He talked it. He lived it. And he showed us every day, no matter how bad it got. I'm still here, he said. I'm still here. And thank God for me and most of us, he's been very reliable. I trust him. I would give him the keys to my home. I would trust him with everything I have. Why? That's who he is, because he was reliable. It wasn't a false sense of being reliable. He proved it to me. And I think people that don't get it, when bad things happen, they get anxious and anxiety sets in. You left out a couple chapters in this book. You need to go back and really look at what happened. Look at the things he did. Look at what he said. Look at the people he took care of. Look at the stuff he did that we know he did. And yet, where's he at? He's here. He's still building. He said every minute, every second, every minute, every hour of every day, somebody somewhere in the world is building a dream come true for everybody in this company. And for anybody watching, you can get a piece of that pie, without a doubt. And it'll be a place where everybody has the ability to win. I've been doing numbers for Africa and Bangladesh and even the United States, I did last night, each state, and how this is trickle up economics, where the ones that were left behind for centuries are going to be pushed up faster than we are. And you can look at the numbers, I don't know what he's talking about. Fact is, the same amount of commissions I get, Bob gets, so does that poor lady, a poor man in Africa and India. They're going to be built up too. But the difference is what they get and what I get makes a bigger impact for them sooner than it does for me. And this is the company that Ashmupara built. This is what he made. He made it so that he wanted to uplift humanity. When he talked about his goal, he did not mention a product. The products are a tool to get us to our means. How do I get people to come here so that we can uplift humanity? I'm going to make the best products in the world. They're going to be above market value, way above market value, and I'm going to pay commissions that probably nobody has ever paid. And if I take care of the consumer side, they're not going anywhere. In fact, they're going to keep coming. And then once they come in, there'll be a handful that say, I want the ideology part of it. That's why everybody here matters. What you do today will matter tomorrow, big time. I've said this to everybody I've ever met in 6 years. Your life will never be the same. You push this forward and you flap your wings and you soar. Your life will never, ever be the same. And we haven't seen nothing yet, because I've seen people's lives change in this company, like Marcy Ann said, and we haven't even opened the door yet. This is internal. So yes, reliability is a big deal. The poster child for reliability is Ashmupara and his wife. I never want to leave out his wife because she's in this crazy journey with him. And the best thing they can see is when Ash is watching a webinar while he's traveling from one nasty meeting to the next one, he gets to hear stuff like this. So what does he do? Well, I better get online. I better go to try to say something. He doesn't have to. Why? Because he trusts us. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.